On January 23rd, 2026, the C-entertainment world didn't just wake up to news, it woke up to a quiet earthquake, because what Song Weilong revealed today wasn't shouted through a press release or diluted by agency-approved wording. It arrived like a slow, burning truth that fans felt in their chests before they could even explain it, and to understand why this single moment has shattered expectations, rewritten fandom narratives, and pushed Zhao Jinmai into an entirely new era, you have to rewind to January 12th in Shanghai, when the Guerlain event first lit the fuse, because while the cameras framed elegance and luxury, the real story lived in the details that couldn't be rehearsed. The way Song Weilong's attention visibly shifted the second Zhao Jinmai appeared, the way his posture subtly angled toward her even when he was speaking to someone else, the way his expression softened in a room otherwise filled with practiced smiles and professional distance, and how those micro-moments, missed by casual viewers but instantly captured by longtime fans, created a ripple effect that spread across social media within minutes, sparking theories, slowed-down clips, and side-by-side comparisons that felt less like delusion and more like collective intuition. And from that night onward, the Sunlight fandom sensed that the Linya story hadn't ended with the final episode of Shine on Me, a drama that began airing December 22nd, 2025, and quietly grew into one of the most emotionally resonant winter hits across Asia, not because of spectacle or dramatic cliffhangers, but because of restraint, intimacy, and an emotional sincerity that felt almost rare in a genre increasingly driven by algorithms. Because audiences didn't just watch Lin Yusin and Nia Shiguang fall in love, they felt invited into the pauses, the hesitations, the half-finished sentences that mirrored real relationships rather than fantasy constructs. An authenticity that now feels almost prophetic in hindsight. Because behind the scenes, during filming from December 2nd, 2024 to April 3rd, 2025, something deeper was forming, something the industry wall, built from image control, contractual silence, and the unspoken rule that popular actors must always belong to the public was never designed to withstand, and insiders from the Hangzhou set have since confirmed what fans long suspected, that the connection didn't explode overnight but grew steadily through shared routine, through exhaustion and vulnerability, through moments when the cameras were down and there was no audience to perform for, moments like late-night script discussions that drifted into personal conversations, shared meals eaten in silence after long shoots, and an ease of presence that couldn't be faked. And it was during one of those freezing February nights, when the temperature dropped and the schedule tightened, that Zhao Jinmai fell ill with a high fever, and, while the production team initially pushed to keep filming in order to stay on schedule, Song Weilong didn't negotiate or dramatize concern for optics, didn't call his team to weigh potential backlash. He shut the set down entirely, told the director they were finished for the night, wrapped her in his own jacket without hesitation, and carried her out himself, a moment so raw and unfiltered that the crew understood instantly this was no longer just professional chemistry or method acting spillover, it was instinct. And that moment became a quiet turning point, whispered about among staff long before it ever reached the public, because it revealed something fundamental, that his priority had shifted from role to person, and as filming continued, those shifts became more visible to anyone paying attention. The way he instinctively checked the ground before she stepped down from set pieces, the way she leaned toward him during breaks as if seeking warmth even when the heaters were on, the way their conversations resumed seamlessly after interruptions, signaling a continuity that existed beyond scripted lines. And when Shine on Me finally aired, audiences responded not just to the characters, but to the emotional residue that lingered in every frame. An unspoken depth that critics struggled to define but viewers felt immediately, and as the drama gained momentum, interviews and promotional appearances only added fuel to speculation. Because even when seated apart or answering questions individually, there was an undercurrent of mutual awareness, glances that lingered a second too long, smiles that arrived too naturally, and a shared restraint that suggested something precious was being protected rather than concealed. And fast forward to today, January 23rd, When Song Weilong did what he has never done before in his career, bypassing the rigid, single-idol machinery that has long dictated the boundaries of his public image, and posting a single candid photo from a private New Year's trip, a photo not styled by a brand, not framed for endorsement value, not softened by filters or explained by captions, but louder than any statement could ever be, showing him standing behind Zhao Jinmai on a balcony as the sun set. Arms locked around her waist in a way that felt grounding rather than possessive, intimate rather than performative, their silhouettes fused against the skyline as if the rest of the world had temporarily faded out. A visual language that needs no translation in C-ent culture. Because this wasn't a teaser meant to spark buzz or a carefully timed leak, it was a declaration. A near-hard launch that told his 20-plus million followers one thing with unmistakable clarity. He has chosen truth over marketability, presence over performance, partnership over availability, and in an industry where such choices are often discouraged or delayed indefinitely, that decision landed like a thunderclap, and the aftermath has been immediate and explosive. Timelines flooded within minutes, hashtags climbing in real time, fan servers struggling to stay online under the weight of reaction traffic, while industry insiders scrambled to interpret what this meant for future endorsements, drama contracts, and long-term career trajectories. Because when a star of Song Weilong's stature chooses to step outside the expected script, it doesn't just affect him, it challenges the system itself, and Zhao Jinmai's agency has remained conspicuously silent, a silence that speaks volumes. As her carefully maintained nation's little sister image collides with the reality of a woman stepping into autonomy, confidence, and adult love on her own terms. An evolution that many fans have quietly hoped for but few expected to arrive with such clarity, because what we're witnessing now isn't scandal or reckless rebellion, it's growth, the rise of a power couple that bridges generations, fashion houses, and fandom cultures, merging the metropolitan polish and quiet intensity associated with Song Weilong's career with the emotional relatability and steady maturation that has defined Zhao Jinmai's journey from child actress to leading woman. And in doing so, transforming Shine on Me from a successful winter drama into a living legend that now exists beyond episode counts and ratings charts, because every recent appearance, from subtle reflections caught in Shanghai storefront glass to unguarded body language during supposedly separate schedules, confirms what no amount of PR framing can erase, that this bond is no longer hidden, coded, or speculative. It's glowing openly in the sunlight, visible to anyone willing to look beyond official narratives and read the language of presence. And whether agencies attempt to soften it into deep friendship, redirect attention toward upcoming projects, or delay acknowledgement in hopes that time will dull the impact, the truth has already landed with irreversible force, reshaping expectations for how authenticity can exist within an industry built on illusion. And in that sense, 2026 has officially become the year of the Weimai Rebellion, a year where fans are no longer satisfied with ambiguity and half-truths, but are demanding honesty, courage, and the willingness to prioritize human connection over manufactured distance. And this moment raises questions far beyond a single couple. Questions about whether the industry wall that has separated private life from public persona for decades is finally beginning to crack, about whether a new generation of stars is redefining what success and fulfillment look like, and about how audiences themselves are changing, becoming less interested in fantasy and more invested in sincerity. And now the question belongs to you. Was this the most legendary private-to-public move in modern C-drama history? Does this mark the beginning of a new era where stars can exist more fully as people rather than products? Is Zhao Jinmai ready to step completely out of the safe shadows and claim her narrative as a woman defining her own life? And RW witnessing in real time the slow dismantling of an industry rulebook that no longer fits the world it operates in. Drop your thoughts, theories, and I knew it moments in the comments, because I'm reading every single one. Thank you for staying with this story until the very end and being part of a community that values truth as much as talent. And if you don't want to miss the rumored first joint interview that could drop within the next 48 hours and potentially redefine everything once again, make sure you subscribe to 24H News, TM, and turn on notifications, because this story is far from over. The conversation is only beginning, and the sunlight is still rising.